Okay, and welcome to today's Galactic Mayan Weather Report. Today we've entered the archetype of the White Overtone World Bridger. And this is the fifth day, or fifth archetype, of a 13-day process we call the White Wind Wavespell. So in the Mayan cosmology, when you look at the Mayan Tzolk'in, we have a 260-day cycle called the Tzolk'in that basically maps the evolutionary energies of consciousness as they pervade through us. And these energies evolve in 13-day fractals. And so there's a lot of lessons we can gather from this. And that's kind of my passion is not so much using the Tzolk'in to predict, what we should do when we should do it, but more using it as an archetypal reference point to help us understand how best to surrender into what is happening and how best to embody our full capacity with what situation we find ourselves in. So it's more about letting go of control through understanding as opposed to regaining even more control through understanding. And that kind of is quite relevant with this White Overtone World Bridger energy. Because this is the fifth step, as I say, of this 13 days of the White Wind. So we're in a process of learning communication. We're in a process of learning how to, allow ourselves to resonate with spirit, to resonate with the spirit of the planet, with each other, and find our ways to communicate with the planet, with each other, etc., to find how we can cooperate and really ground in this message of spirit into our reality. So this fifth step, the first 4 days are very much preparation energies. The magnetic tone, the first day, draws the purpose on a spiritual plane. The second step, the lunar tone, polarizes in order to stabilize the challenges of communication, the white wind, on the physical plane. The third day, or third step, is about bonding our emotional energy to the process. It's about commitment. It's about saying, okay, I see the challenges, I see the purpose, I commit. I fully give my emotional energy to this creation. The fourth step, which was yesterday, the self-existing tone, is like the architect. It's working on the mental plane to define, measure, and form, to give these things to the plan, in a sense, to create the plan. And today we sit in the overtone energy, so we're returning back to the spiritual plane again. Now this time, the spiritual plane is carrying all of this preparation work of the other planes. So overtone is about taking command. It's like the building master of building a house. They empower the workers to feel like we can actually do this. Radiate empowerment. Take command and radiate empowerment of these 13 days of the White Wind. And the way it does that is by working with the energy of the White World Bridger. So the White Overtone World Bridger. The White World Bridger itself used to be carved on the walls in the ancient times with the Maya as a skull. And, because it represented death. And in our Western culture especially, but other cultures, but we're terrified of death. We do everything to keep things alive, and we really cringe away from any topic or conversation that tends to go towards death. We want to just put it under the carpet and forget that it exists and keep going. So the World Bridger is kind of, a bit pushing the boundaries here because it wants us to understand the concept of death. Now, the beautiful thing when we look at this World Bridger energy is it's not about death in the sense of human death, because in the end, that's not the end either. But the White Overtone World Bridger, what we're looking at is the capacity to let go of the past so that we can cross the bridge into the future. It's the World Bridger. It's the one that creates the bridge. It's the gatekeeper at the bridge that says, no, thou shalt not pass until you release your baggage. It's like I often say, it's like the people at the checkout at the airport when you're trying to get onto Asia Air or Tiger Airways or something, and you've got too much luggage. You can't get on that plane until you let go of your luggage or pay a premium. Life's kind of the same. You can't keep moving forward into the next best place, into the next best opportunity if you insist on carrying all of your baggage. You have to be prepared to surrender the baggage so that you can step more fully into the moment. So what I'm running around trying to say, is this World Bridger energy. This is my favorite bit. I love this archetype. Is the World Bridger is saying that right here, right now, ahead of you. So right now, as you're watching this video, you have infinite potential in every moment of time that comes. Infinite potential. But for every piece of baggage you carry, every memory from the past that carries some kind of blockage, every fear, every hurt, every disappointment, all these things of the past we carry with us and replay in our bodies and our cellular structures, etc., all these emotions. For everything we haven't processed in the past and we are holding on to still, it actually takes this infinite potential that's in our future and begins to minimize it, begins to cut it down until we really only have a very small pathway to step into. And that's the universe basically saying, well, you've got infinite potential, but if you insist on carrying all of these issues, all of this emotion, this resentment, this fear, this panic, all of these energies, then I'm afraid the only real outcomes I can provide you are these ones. And there's just a couple that can actually work together with all of that. So you pay the premium to carry your baggage. The World Bridger says, if you let go of all of that resentment, if you let go of all of that bitterness, that anger, that hurt, that fear, that sadness, these emotions are here to be experienced momentarily, not to be carried with us into the future. So they need to be digested. So the World Bridger comes in and helps us digest these emotions so that we can release the baggage and move across the bridge into the next moment. And the more that we can release, the more we can surrender in that energy, the greater the possible future. The lighter, the more the possible futures ahead that we can choose between in our next steps. So today is really a really powerful day to purify your emotional body. To allow your spirit to be free. The ducks just jumped in. I might give you a little glimpse after I finish. So thank you for coming along, ducks. And so it's very much about processing these emotions and letting go of control, letting go of expectations, etc., so that you can open up your future and your potential. And so when we address this directly to the white wind Wavespell, and when we're talking about communication, what this speaks to me of is essentially the white overtone World Bridger is talking about the capacity to let go of our expectations of what needs to happen, of how a conversation needs to happen. It's about letting go of our insistence on knowing the answers, to knowing what's right for somebody else, of knowing what's right for the planet, letting go of our preconceived ideas of what that person actually thinks, of how they're actually receiving what we're saying, and letting all that go, letting ourselves die to the moment so that we can stand with somebody else in communication, and we can be so present with them that we can actually begin to feel and hear what they truly stand for and the messages underneath what they're saying on the surface. But as long as we're carrying expectations of what a person will say, thinking that we know who they are or what they like or what they don't like, it actually blocks us and makes us deaf from being able to hear their heart speaking through their mouth. So the Overtone World Bridger is saying, purify, let go, surrender, surrender to the flow, surrender to spirit, thy will be done. Thy will be done. We are here as conduits for spirit to fulfill a beautiful fairy tale and storyline. We all play a different role, and we're all here to step into our different roles, and we need to stop judging each other against each other, because we're so unique and so different. Every one of us has such a unique, different role, and it's not limited just to this limited lifetime. So much has been involved. So if someone is causing you trouble or stress or strain, just remember that they've had their share. There's a reason they're like that. It's not a conscious choice. No one rolls out of bed in the morning and says, you know what, I'm going to be an asshole. Pardon my expression. But, nobody does that. Even the ducks agree. Everyone is doing the best that they can with what they've been given and what they've got. and it's challenging. So instead of worrying about others and thinking you understand their process or understanding what they're going through, just focus on your own. Bring your awareness into yourself and make sure that you're cleaning your own house, that you're, as Ram Dass says, cleaning your own mirror, and letting go and trusting that it's going to be okay. And then you'll find the best conversations come out, the most liberating conversations. You know, not just with humans, but with animals, with the plants, with the spirits. You begin to be able to hear them again because the fears made space. So thank you for tuning into today's Galactic Mayan Weather Report. I've started sharing these on Minds, a new kind of social networking platform like Facebook. So if you haven't checked out Minds, check it out now. Highly recommend it. And hello to all you crew on Minds. Yeah, want to really support this platform. And so if you like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'll be doing regular updates every few days. And you can also check out the Facebook page. I know the Mayans crew generally aren't that favorable to it, but you can check out the Facebook page, and I have the Galactic Mayan Weather Report, where I do daily reports in text and image. So thank you again for tuning in, and enjoy the next few days, and I'll see you online in a bit. And let's see if we can get the ducks. Yeah, well, there's the beautiful sunset, the dying of the day. And let's see if I can get these little guys. There they are. Well, I tell you what, you can see their reflections. Alright, good night, duckies. And good night to the day. May you rest well. And I'll see you in a new one.